Very much, Presiding Officer. First of all, I would like to remind the Chamber that I am the chair of Moving on Inverclyde, a local recovery service, a third sector organisation. We've already heard today that the uplift that's coming is less than 1%. We've also heard that Craig Hoy and the Conservatives criticised public sector workers getting wage rises, and also Jackie Baillie admitting that there has been 14 years of austerity affecting the economy. Now, that's actually really quite interesting, because previously the 14 years of austerity seemed to only affect elsewhere in the UK apart from Scotland. Mr Hoy.
Craig Hoy.
I thank the member for giving way. Will he draw a distinction, however, between public sector workers who are at the front line, and we all support significant wage rises where it's affordable there, as opposed to the army of spin doctors and other backroom staff that have ballooned under the SNP, particularly since the COVID pandemic?
Stuart McMillan.
So that seems to certainly very much run contrary to what Mr Hoy said in his opening comments earlier on in debate. But certainly, as my colleague Kevin Stuart indicated earlier on, and also after Ross Greer's contribution, the fact that the Scottish Parliament now has additional powers, we need to have additional civil servants to actually deal with that. Now, if Mr Hoy doesn't like that, that's entirely up to him. Now, Jackie Baillie also, as she's leaving the chamber, Jackie Baillie also listed some UK budget actions earlier on in her contribution. I'm going to list some other of the budget actions or inactions from the UK budget. So they failed to scrap the two-child benefit cap, which, according to Child Poverty Action Group, affects 1.6 million children, with families losing up to £3,455 per child. They scrapped the universality of the winter fuel payment, which Labour's own figures show could result in 4,000 excess deaths this winter. An estimate suggests that the cost to the NHS will be just shy of £1 billion, and £100 million of that in Scotland. WASPI women have once again been forgotten about, and as for the triple lock for pensioners, the Chancellor claimed that state pensioners would get a £470 uplift, but as money expert Martin Lewis has pointed out, this is, and I quote, "This is simply factually not true." Now, Labour also targeted students by rising tuition fees in England and Wales, despite previously ruling out such action. There's also been the broken promise of lower energy bills, as we know that energy costs are going up, and we also can't forget the fact that mortgages are now also going up, thanks to Labour's budget and Labour's actions. Now, the list goes on, but these are just some of the examples. Some of these examples are indicative of the same misery that the Tories inflicted upon us for 14 years. And also, it was announced this morning that the Labour-led Inverclyde Council have launched funding to mitigate the winter fuel payment decision taken by their bosses in Westminster. Now, this is all before we even get to Labour's decision to increase the national insurance contributions for employers. Now, Presiding Officer, while some might have agreed at the outset that it is reasonable to place this additional tax burden on employers, given the challenging financial situation that the UK does find itself in, but this has got a knock-on effect to employees and also customers, as we've already heard from colleagues. Now, Presiding Officer, Labour are raiding the payroll accounts of charities, care homes and also small businesses with this national insurance hike. And we also know about pharmacies, GP and dental practices, hospices, housing associations, and the list goes on. In my constituency, Argyll Hospice and Clough Housing Association have raised with me directly the impact that this national insurance hike is going to have on their operations. Now, we are talking about thousands of pounds being handed back to the UK Government in national insurance payments, which we will just not see any return on. So, Presiding Officer, I don't see any change from Labour. I see the consistent approach that we had with the Tories in Westminster. I see an out-of-touch, red and blue Westminster establishment so far removed from reality that the only option for Scotland is for us to become an independent nation.